Good afternoon, Shmuel, Chantal, the running tour guide, together with Dr. Book, Comrade Book. You better give us a book when you come to Israel. We are going to take you to the capital of the Galilee of 2,000 years ago. What's our aim? We're going to see where mosaics were produced. Nazareth, the hills behind me, but where we are, Tzippori, this was the capital. This was the main center.
It was a good location for a city. It had the 4 Ds. Drink, drive, not together obviously, defense, and dining. So it's a beautiful fertile land over here for the food. The defense, you'll see the city was built on top of a hill. In fact, the very name Tzippori means a bird. And the Talmud says, Yoshev k'tzipor alaha. The city sat like a bird on the mountain. So it's a beautiful place to defend on a major driving route, of trade route between the Derech HaMelech, the King's Highway, and the Via Maris, the sea coast. This is one of the major roads that actually went east to west that connected these 2 major north-south trade routes. And on top of that, the only question that was left is, where does the water come from for the drinking? There's one very small spring here, which clearly enough is not big enough to supply a city of thousands. The answer for the water, of course, is right underneath our feet.
Dr. Book, the specialist. Avigdor Book, the trail specialist. So it's going to be a bit of history, a bit of fun, and hopefully a bit of adventure as we get into the forests that surround the hills of the lower hills of the Galilee. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Lots more coming your way. Stick around, have fun with us. Peace. Off we go.
Down all the way here, not going down a shaft, isn't it?
In it, let's get in.
Thank you very much.
What's down there, Avigdor?
I'm not sure.
How far are we going? I'm suffering with tunnel vision. I don't know about you. So here we are. We're walking through a 2,000-year-old aqueduct. The rocks absorb the water, fills with water, pressure pushes out the water.
You see over here an entire man-hewn water tunnel system to bring the water from the springs. By the force of gravity, the water was fed into the city, which we're going to visit soon.
Let's go.
Me?
I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I believe.
Daylight.
Delightful.
Okay, so we're following the Blue Trail, which is on the outskirts of the archaeological site. So we are making our way to the heartland of the city. Oh, but look at this. Beautiful.
The animal trust.
This is something incredible. In the bedrock, you can see they carved out the shape of a basin for the animals to drink.
Yep.
So this is an animal trough from 2,000 years ago, right here. And what it does, you can see, it just catches the rainwater. We had a beautiful rain on the way up here, but now a crisp blue afternoon.
Cyclamen.
Oh, and look at Comrade Book has found for us. Magnificent.
It's the Rakefet.
It's the Rakefet in Hebrew.
Cyclamen.
That's a lie. You're a runner, you're not a cycleman. Cycleman? Folks, you may be used to seeing us in the desert. It's a part of the country we love. But don't be fooled. The land of Israel is green, lush and beautiful. And if you look around me, these rolling hills of the Galilee, the perfect time of the year in the midst of the winter. Yeah, a heavily wooded land, that's what it was. It's coming back for you. To do is to do. Paradise, friends.
Check out this book.
Yeah, Dr. Book is just saying, wherever you step here, something is below us, and every now and again you get this rocky outcrop of antiquity. But stay tuned, we've got some impressive archaeology to show you. Are you ready? Look at that. Sepphoris.
There you go.
Tzipori.
Go left and get onto the old road.
Here, a typical Roman road. Wow. Reminds me of Italy. When I did the Verona Marathon and the Venice Marathon, this is what you run on. But here we are in the Holy Land. Be sure to check out the video that we did in Beit She'an, Tzipori. We took you on the Cardo, and last time we had a 100-meter dash down the Cardo. Mr. Book took that title, but today we're doing something different. We're going to run on the decumanus, starting in the east, heading to the west. Have a look at this street. You can see someone walking down a 2,000-year-old street. Doesn't matter where you are, you can just land up here. You'll know your sense of direction. You can see all the grooves. Look how traffic down this road 2,000 years ago made indentations in the rock. But today we're going to use it for something fun. We're going to be doing the 50-meter decumanus dash. Are you ready?
DD.
The 50-meter decumanus dash, Chantal versus the two books.
The book bros.
The book bros. Okay. On your mark. Get set. Go! He's good. He's kicking up that. Oh, he did it. The king of Sepphoris and the king of Tzipori, Dr. Book. And we had a tie second, Victor and Shmuel. It was frightening.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, Naukusis, Roy, Theo.
Looks like Greek to me, but doesn't sound like Greek to me.
It says Liverpool's next game is 2:30 tomorrow. Don't miss it.
Go the Reds! Okay folks, here we are in the center of Tzipori. We've just come off the decumanus, and boy oh boy, look what we are finding here. Mosaics are all over the place, and these are a beauty. I know that my wife would like these. These are hearts, heart mosaics. Proof is in the pudding here. If we add a little bit of water, look at the colors that come out. So when it's dry and it's got that dusty look, don't be fooled. The beauty lies beneath. Love you, babe. You can see they actually are megapixels. These mosaics are much smaller than the average ones we've shown you around the country. And why is there such a selection of mosaic carpentry here in the center of town? Is it trying to give off an image of what was happening here 2,000 years ago?
Well, this is the prosperous center. This is where all the major merchants have their shops over here. And each merchant has a shop decorated in a different way. And one of the major trades here was actually of making mosaics, mosaic workshops. And as Sam said, the smaller the squares, the smaller the DPI, as we call it in computer technology, the more expensive the mosaic and the more detail you could get into the mosaic. So this kind of mosaic with just a pattern is known as a carpet mosaic. It was actually very popular a few centuries after this in Byzantine churches and synagogues because there was no images on it, which is a big contrast to the kind of mosaics we're going to see on this side of the marketplace with a lot of images. And that's not just idle chatter. Swastikas. Swastikas, as you see over here, are a very prominent theme. They were on major public buildings, including synagogues. And they were bought by Alexander the Great, who found this symbol in India as a symbol of good luck. And the beautiful geometric designs, it became extremely popular in Greco-Roman mosaic art.
Okay guys, next time you shop on Amazon, you're going to have to think about the name. Have a look what we found here.
The original Gal Gadot.
The original Gal Gadot on horseback, the Amazon. Now, Dr. Book, Amazon, the name.
It's a Greek name, and the A in Greek means without, and mazon is a breast, which is very interesting because in Hebrew mazon is a source of food, a source of nurture, and as it is with a woman's breast for feeding the baby. According to Greek mythology, every member of the Amazon tribe, the fierce woman-only warrior tribe, would actually cut off her left breast. So when she pulled the arrow drawstring backwards, it wouldn't get in the way, it wouldn't impede the shot. And if you look at this mosaic over here, you see an Amazon hunting scene where the right breast is very prominent, but there's no left breast because that had been cut off. And this woman over here is about to throw a spear on horseback. So these were the fierce women warriors of Greek legend on this floor.
Some of the best fighters that the ancient world had ever seen.
You know, they were just trying to keep abreast of the situation.
I think we've milked the subject. Let's move on. Oh boy, just have a look at the size of this one. I'm kind of in denial. Excuse the pun. This is the Nile mosaic right here next to the decumanus. And we're in the tribe of Manasseh. What's the Nile doing here?
The Nile, as we all know, is a river in Egypt.
This is true. Add to that.
All the Egyptian farmland basically depended on the water of the Nile. It was a major source of Egyptian fertility. And everybody in Egypt wanted to know how much water was in the Nile. The Egyptians invented something called the Nilometer, which you can see over here, where they're marking the water level of the Nile here, these Greek letters over here. And this is the River Nile here with all the, you could probably identify the birds and the fish along here, and the vegetation, and the African animals everywhere.
Nilometer.
And this is the famous city of Alexandria, built, one of the many Alexandrias that Alexander the Great built. And this mosaic was from the time of Egypt in the Ptolemaic period. And that's why I have all the Greek inscriptions.
And my favorite of all favorites, the leopard. This one here is a Panthera pardus, the African leopard, of which unfortunately we don't have anymore. When I made Aliyah 15 years ago, I often went down to Ein Gedi in hope of seeing a leopard. Never got to see it, but please God, we will bring these back. There is an organization in Israel through the Natures of Authority called Chai Bar, who are reintroducing the biblical animals, so stay tuned. We will be spotting the leopard once again. Okay, enough of the puns.
So in Gaza, they found exactly the same mosaic, but the face of Orpheus in the middle was the face of King David. So you see that how they combined Judaism, took Greek mythology, incorporated into Judaism, because we all know that David played the harp. But in this case, they had him playing the harp like he was Orpheus, taming all the wildlife. So again, a classic example of
how Jews of the Second Temple period would have taken on the culture that surrounded them, incorporated into their daily lives, may not have used it as a symbol of idolatry or serving the gods of the Romans, but using the beauty of the West that had reached the East.
So in other words, we call this phenomena adaptation without assimilation, or the chameleon effect, how the Jews could take on and incorporate all the good and the beautiful, the material culture around them, and incorporate it into their Judaism. And we're going to see an amazing example of this. We go and look at one of the 20 synagogues mentioned in the Talmud that has actually been uncovered in Tzippori. You'll see the juxtaposition of East and West, or what the Talmud calls Chochma Yavanit, Greek wisdom, within a Jewish synagogue. And that will be our next stop once we finish the city center.
I feel a theme coming along. Let's use the site in understanding a place that you would have expected the Jews to rebel against Rome. During the Great Revolt, there was no rebellion. It's one of the reasons this city survived. The Jews fell to the culture of the Romans, did not rebel. Hence, we have a city that survived history for us to see. But there was a rebellion. If we talk about the times of Herod the Great dies 4 BCE, and the Jews of this community did rebel. Question is, why didn't they rebel during the times of the destruction of the temple?
To be revealed.
Next attraction. See you there. Wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom from the Holy Land, and we've got each one of you a bunch of flowers. We love you.